Neon lights, neon screens, neon piss. These are the smells of the city. What city, you ask? This city. The city. A city that never forgives or forgets this city. A city that'll punch your mom 'cause this ain't your mama's city. A city of lights and trains and neon and stuff made out of bricks. City bricks. Brick City. But it wasn't always like this. It used to be a different way. Lumi bricks. Lumi bricks. Bricks that sure aren't Lego bricks. And why should they be? Hi, I'm Jaxom, and for 2 decades, going on 3, aka my entire life, I've been a Lego purist. A casual, yes, but a casual purist. Growing up, there was Lego, and then there was Mega Bloks. And before I was even potty trained, I knew that Mega Bloks were not Legos. Legos felt good. Legos felt solid and snappy. Meanwhile, Mega Bloks felt just one step above trying to build a house with used napkins. Awful cheap plastic, lousy tolerances, lame-looking builds.
How does it feel to be the worst cop ever, huh? Shut up, your mother buys you Mega Bloks instead of Legos. You f***ing take that back.
Anything that isn't Lego is cheap, I thought. So when I get an email from a competing brick brand, hoping to disrupt the space and hoping to sponsor me, I'm understandably skeptical. Lumi Bricks is the company. They used to be called Fun Whole. Whole like whole wheat, so shut up. And all of my research showed that they've built a glowing reputation thanks to a secret weapon gimmick. Glowing. The gimmick is glowing. They've lumied their bricks, an idea so simple on the surface, yet with results that seem utterly impossible. The sets look great. Better than great, they look good. In fact, I don't believe they can look this good in real life. The bricks must be lower quality just like Mega Bloks were, or the building process must not be as fun, or the light gimmick must be annoying to install. Something to justify the fact that Lego is still riding high. That's what I thought before the sets arrived, and the next few days of building have proved me wrong about everything to an extent which may shock even you. Inside the absurdly dense, absurdly large box, there's bags of bricks, several instruction books, and, unlike a Lego set, a special orange box containing many, many secrets. More on that in a bit. Like a turtle foraging in an undersea reef, I was immediately caught up in the plastic. Lumi Bricks uses good, solid ABS plastic, just like any bigger brand would. It snaps how you'd want, it holds how you'd want, the quality is top-notch. I'm not an expert, perhaps you know better than I, but as a normie builder, I couldn't pinpoint any part fit issues at any point. A great deal of the early building process is spent putting plates on plates on plates on plates until the base is completed, with all of the mysteries sealed within. Only after that would I say it gets properly fun, as you assemble the many levels of the building with lots of odd joints and dynamic angles. Everything about the first set is dynamic, though it's supposed to be a train station, which seems ill-advised on its face. These sets are supposed to be modular, meaning the bases click together to create a sprawling cyberpunk cityscape. And that poses a bit of a problem. How do you put a train station in the middle of a city if the tracks are inevitably going to disappear into nothing? Once I actually built the train part, indeed it does slide on the monorail, and indeed the tracks just kinda stop, like a sentence that trails into... But I'm getting ahead of myself. We have to have a serious talk about lights, because the lighting is woven inextricably into the build. It's the guiding mystery of the entire process. Inside the special orange box, you'll find a whole bunch of special orange bags full of special frickin' junk. While most of the pieces in the set are indistinguishable from Lego bricks, LumiBricks has also included many new, weird bricks. Among them, plates with gaps on each side, bricks with trenches dug through the middle, normal bricks, weird bricks, half normal, half weird, half bricks. These form built-in channels to lay down the wiring and then cover it up seamlessly without pinching anything. And that makes this part of the process a totally different experience than a Lego set. It breaks up the typical zen monotony of a strict brick build, sorta cocking my brain into thinking differently. And though I had no trouble at all understanding the instructions, it was confusing as hell. I had no idea why I was laying down any of the wires. Where are they going? What do they connect to? Because it isn't exactly linear. Though it does eventually work, and that's what we call delayed gratification. It actually led to my favorite moment of the entire build, if not my favorite moment of any build I've ever done. You know how in Star Wars Rogue One, most of the movie is kinda slow and weird, and then it gets to the finale, and suddenly everything is colliding and crashing and blowing up, and all of the setup pays off as the fate of the galaxy boils down to one hallway where Darth Vader is killing a bunch of guys. It's like that, and I can explain. So really early on in the build, there's this one little connector box and this one little dangling cable. And it really feels like this cable should connect to this box to complete the circuit. But it's too short. It doesn't reach. And I was kinda worried that I'd done something wrong, because without that connection, the rest of the build from that point up simply cannot light up. Still, I press on, because I've followed the instructions, and if I can't trust the instructions, I have nothing. I build, and I build, and I build, which takes days, which is awesome, because that's play value. And the whole time I'm glaring at that little dangling connector. I'm installing all of the wires, I'm installing all the lights, I'm mounting them in ceilings and in signs and on antennas, and I can't test any of it. It holds back the reveal, keeps me locked in the mystery. Before I know it, the whole building is built. Yet that connector is still dangling, and the monorail still falls off into... All that's left are 3 little bags, and a sack with 2 discs in it. So I assemble. I install the wires. I fit the discs inside. Mirrors, weirdly. One that's solid, and one that's one way so you can see through it. Both of them face each other, with a circle of lights sandwiched inside. Also weird. I'm even more confused than before. This is dumb. I'm dumb. I must have done something wrong. But what do you know? The mirror disc goes right on the end of the track. The wires of the disc connect the dangler to the box, and the build is done. It looks fun. It's cool and all. I like it okay. Until I turn out the lights, take a breath, flick the switch, and... It's a portal! The mirrors, lit from within, create an infinitely recurring tunnel illusion. And suddenly it all clicked. The train doesn't need a long track because it grinds in through a portal in the middle of the city, which is so freaking cool. They could have arranged the instructions so you build the portal immediately after you put in this dangling wire, but they didn't. They held it back specifically to annoy you, and specifically to force you into giving yourself a stunning reveal of all your hard work. They've structured this build like a movie, with rising tension and a grand finale. It's so well done, and honestly, I never want to build a set that doesn't have lights. Admittedly, installing the wires is much fiddlier than normal building is. Since it's less familiar, it's a lot slower, especially at the start when you're laying a lot of the groundwork. But they've thought it out with good reason. The lights aren't random nor basic. The radio tower blinks. The rooms are lit from overhead, beaming down just like a real room might be lit. Spaces for train passengers are lit warmly, while the information booth and the control center have cold corporate lighting. Even in the room where all of the wires have to join up, there's a printed brick with a power box on it, part of the storytelling. It's made me realize just how much every playset I've ever owned for any toy line is totally missing lighting. Spaces for toys feel dead and dull. There's no reason to put detail into a room because it'll only get closed in and plunged into shadow. LEGO's fix is usually to cut their buildings in half like a dollhouse so you can see inside, while LumiBricks kinda lets me have my cake and also eat my cake as well. Lighting makes the spaces come alive. They're immersive and visible without the need for a special lighted display case that makes your bedroom look like J.J. Abrams did his whole thing that he does all over it. The second set I got, the Game Stack, is built with just as much careful consideration in the lighting, yet with a completely different gimmick. The set has 5 components, 5 booklets, and all 5 of the basic flavors. What flavor is this piece? Bitter? Chicken? First you build this odd-looking non-building, which has its own lights and its own details, though strangely vacant, a skeleton. Then, each of the 4 booklets are isolated builds, little room pods, each with their own style. Although they have no built-in power supply, each one has contacts to connect to the broader circuitry. Let me tell you a story, so that you'll understand why this set is so cool. A few months ago, me and some friends all bought one big LEGO set that we intended to build together as a group activity late one night. This didn't work, because even though the set was split across multiple booklets, it was a totally linear process. Each book picked up straight from the last, and each segment can't be built until you build the prior ones. Everyone got confused and eventually left, and I spent the next 6 hours doing it myself. With the Game Stack LumiBricks set, and to some degree the train station as well, you can have a proper brick party. You can build it as a family activity, with each person getting their own booklet and assembling their own module. I figured the modular structure was just another way to create a huge reveal, as you finish the rooms and click them into place to complete the build and see all of the lights light up. But actually, sort of. Though there is a recommended spot for each pod, the rooms themselves are swappable. You can move them around, mix and match, put them in different spots. Why? I don't know. I assume it's in service of sheer whimsy and nothing else. Each pod has its own gimmick. This one hinges open. This one is a big coin pusher that can dispense prizes. This one is a little gear-based fighting game. Even the frame itself has a cable-operated elevator to raise the figures up to each level. It works okay-ishly. I say all of this to point out, both of these sets are richer in detail while being more playful and more playable than any set I've built in the last 2 decades of my life. Every interior space remains accessible. Built-in hinges let you open the walls to put figures inside. This bathroom might be pretty stuck in there, but it slides out so your figures can pee and poop. It's rich with character and densely packed with whimsical detail. And the more sets you get, bam! They fit together easy peasy to form cohesive cityscapes. You don't even need multiple power boxes. Built-in contacts let power flow between different sets. Now here's what I'll say. The wiring is highly specialized. Though the bricks are modular, the lengths of the wires and the types of LEDs seem tailored specifically specialized for each and every set. If you only build the stock build based on the instructions, like me, this poses no problems at all. In fact, the specialization means everything works insanely well, very, very easily. If you're more inclined to cannibalize a set and make your own thing, you might find the wiring quite limiting. But with some skill, limitations can become great boons to creativity. Surely there are builders out there who see a highly specialized strand of LED studs, and then they get an entire build concept spawned entirely from that. That ain't me, but yeah, that ain't me. Of course, I got these things for free because of the sponsorship, so I'm building these things the whole time thinking of the inevitable truth that you're probably also thinking, so let's talk about it. The big deal breaker. With the LEDs, the specialized engineering, the huge scale, the part count, these things are bloody expensive, aren't they? No, they're cheaper! You aren't paying for a big red logo, which makes them less expensive! I looked it up! I compared part counts! A Lego set with this many pieces would run you nearly double the price of the equivalent LumiBricks set. And they don't just make cityscapes either. There's a cyberpunk bus, a cyberpunk cop car. And they don't just make cyberpunk stuff. You can get a woodland cottage, Old West sets, lovely towns, medieval castles. Do you have meaningless gears on your rustic top hat? Do you wear suspenders and a belt at the same time? Well, there's a whole steampunk theme just for you. Cars with working headlights, a stagecoach with flickering lanterns, breakdancers. With this many sets, it doesn't matter how specialized the light strands are, because I'm sure they've already made a set with just about any lighting element you can possibly imagine, ready to be integrated in whatever you want to make. I'm fully Lumi-pilled. I've been toiling over this in hopes of coming off more balanced and nuanced. But unless you really want a specific branded theme, like a basic IP monkey, I can't figure out a reason to buy a Lego set. They're gonna be more expensive, less interesting, less dynamic, with the same exact bricks, and no better in terms of quality. LumiBricks simply wins, and it has me in a strange, brand-loyal identity crisis. All that to say, LumiBricks may not have started the race, but as things stand, they are winning it by miles. And they aren't the only company to be disrupting the toy industry like this. More and more, the pinnacle brands that we grew up with are falling complacent, and companies with fresh ideas and better execution are stepping in to fill the void. That could be a whole video on its own, so leave a comment if that's something you want to see. And in the meantime, if you're interested, go to Google or Amazon and type in LumiBricks Cyberpunk or just LumiBricks. It's easy to find this stuff, and you should take a look at their broader catalog, cause it's a crazy number of sets with so many clever gimmicks that it's fun just to window shop. Or they make good holiday gifts, huh? Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and please, views are down YouTube-wide, so click another one of my videos when this one is over to train the algorithm that I'm worth something. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, this is JetKuso, and I'll see you next time. Right now, you should go to patreon.com/JetKuso to become a patron of this channel. It helps me to make more, riskier, weirder, higher effort videos, and you get access to the JetKuso Discord server where you can chat and hang with what is quickly becoming a very cool little community of people who probably like all the same stuff that you do. So thank you to my Diamond patrons Lucid Lana, CHOOKA Bear, and RAZU Ryan, my Titan patrons Sierra 107, Gusano, Banana Jones, Chell, Douglas Fern, my Hyper patrons Trouble, Mudorios, Orio, Alyssa Gretlein, Forrest DC, HeartlineDai, Kevin Haji, Sam Caesar, James 17, Hateincarnate, and new base patron Jonathan Norris. Thanks guys!